All right, welcome to the show, Talk TV Media Network. Sam in studio today, jam pack, ready. Yeah, the 26th of June, 2022. The sun is very nice out there, man. Oh, beautiful day, beautiful day here in Tulsa, Green Country, Oklahoma. Still tuned, share the link wherever you are. We have a special topic coming up. I don't need to introduce it. Everybody needs that in life. So don't sit there, share the link. Don't sit there and just watch. Be a part of the show. Call in. I have a special guest in studio. Until then, enjoy your Sunday music.
Can I dance in your praise real quick?
All right, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Talk TV Media Network. Today is the Sunday show. I told you guys we are going to be bringing you some fantastic, good information that you need, that every person out there need. Relationships, love affair, marriage. We here to talk it all.
Yes.
Yeah, this is what we do, man. But on this special note, before we start the show, I've been in studio with very special guests. Um, Long-time friends, man. Like, I don't know, mentors. That's how I say it. God given, God sent. And they earn it. They have every reason for speaking in this position, on these topics. So we love to hear from you. Drop in your comments, uh, subscribe, follow the link, all of that. Ask your questions. We want to know because too many people out there are having issues with relationships, are having issues with their marriages. And so before I even get into the show, welcome to the show,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Angie.
Thank you.
Let our viewing audience know who's this beautiful young lady between these two men.
Sure. Well, of course. So my name is Angela, and I have been married for 28 years to my
Yeah.
wonderful husband Dane, and we've got two kids. Two boys. I'm a nurse, and I am passionate about relationships. Passionate about helping people find their one, whoever that may be. Passionate about families. And so it is an honor to be here on today, and we just want to help people.
Just want to help people. Just want to help people. Perfect
Yes.
introduction.
Yes.
Man, the way you talk about yourself so much, I don't know whether I should ask this man whether he needs any introduction.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm with her.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hey,
with
welcome
her, yeah.
to the show, man. Well, you see his name out there, right on the show, on the screen. For those of you who wants to know who are these people, so I will have that up there and share the link. You share the link. Pretty soon we'll open the lines. The numbers will come on the screen, so you can call in. You can ask your questions. But today is about relationships. As you've already seen the information out there. How do you know that she is the one? This young woman, this beautiful woman. How do you know that she's the one? How do you know that he is the one that God has for you, that God sent for you? Because a lot of people are mistaken in relationships, right?
Yeah.
And why do relationships fail? Why are most married people unhappy? And why are most single people are happy? These are issues we are going to delve into this afternoon.
Yeah.
But we're going to start on a serious note. How do you know that young lady I saw in high school, I got a crush on, all of that?
Mhm.
How do you know that she's the one God has for me? How do you know she's the one?
Hmm.
Any of you can pick up.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll start. I'll just start quickly.
Okay.
How do you know it's the one? It takes time.
It takes
Honestly,
time.
it
That's
takes
true.
time.
Takes
It
time.
takes time to know. Takes time to find out. And I think that's one of the biggest challenge we have is that our culture is fast paced. We want it yesterday.
Mhm.
We don't want to be patient. With relationship, you have to be patient. And as we'll go into more details, but I think the first thing is you have to realize that you have to be patient. There is no shortcut that I know of in a strong, solid, healthy, functional relationship that will last. There's no shortcut. So go ahead, dear.
Yeah. And I would just add to that, Brother Sam,
Yeah.
he asked that's the $1,000,000 question.
Yeah.
Is he the one? Is she the one?
Yes, yes.
Everybody's trying to find the one. And I truly believe that God gives us the ability, God gives us the ability to choose who we decide to marry.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've found that has worked for many people is number one, you have to identify your core values.
Yes,
Because,
yes.
when you meet someone, you're so in love. You're not thinking about core values. You just, I like the girl, I like the man,
Right.
and they look so pleasing to the eyes.
Yeah.
And so we're really quick to, jump into their relationship.
Yes, Yeah.
But as Pastor Dane said, you also have to take some time to ask a lot of questions.
Yes.
You have to identify, first of all, your core values. First of all, as a woman, and I'm going to talk to the ladies out there who may be dating, but as a woman, you have to, first of all, identify your core values.
Meaning when you say core values, what do you mean? Is it what I believe in as a man, or what do I perceive? What do I anticipate? What do I expect?
Yes.
In a woman.
Yeah. So a core value, if you are a woman that's seeking to get married, first start with you. Identify your core values. What kind of life would you like? What do you want your marriage to look like? How many children would you like? What do you want your finances to look like? What do you expect from your husband? How do you want him to treat you? So what I did when I was single, I made a list of what I was looking for. So have a list.
Wow.
And so, because if you don't have a list, anybody will come, and it could be a counterfeit husband. Anybody will come into your atmosphere. You'll be thinking, oh, that's him. But then you have to remember, you thought the guy from a year ago was the one, and he wasn't the one.
But many would say, though, that, okay, when I was growing up, I'm in high school, I have such a list, as in, and it turns out that I saw this individual, this person, beautiful, and she kind of fit that list. But only to find out down the road, as things went bad, it didn't work out. It's, things are completely the contrary.
Right.
So I'm thinking of one would think maybe the list doesn't work.
Yes.
It does.
How do you, in that case?
What the list, as Andrew said, what the list does for you, it basically forces you to think about what's important to you.
Right.
So before you meet this person,
right,
you already know what is important to me.
Right.
What life do I want? How do I want to be respected? How I want to be loved? How to be treated? These are things. These are what I call non-negotiables. These are things that I will not hold back on.
Right.
If the person does not have these qualities, it's off. We're moving on.
Exactly.
Forget it. And a lot of times, many of these couples, whether fiancés, whatever,
right,
in loved ones, don't have core values. Don't have things that they value immensely.
Right. Yeah,
These are things that I will. For instance, a person has to be. For me, core value is you have to be trustworthy. You have to be a person of integrity. You notice I did not talk about.
That.
I didn't talk about love at the moment. None of us talked about love so far. Love is an overused, misused word in our culture. And a lot of times we misuse or misinterpret that to infatuation. The Webster says infatuation is an intense passion that's short-lived. A lot of times what people do, they get into a relationship, say a guy see a lady and she's hot, whatever,
right,
and you're infatuated with her. There's an intense passion, but that's short-lived.
Yeah, but that infatuation for some, they might say it took place, it happened, and then they end up becoming lifetime partners, though. That too.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's not the only thing. The problem is a lot of times you have couples or individuals use that as the barometer. That is not the barometer.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They use that. Well, I'm in love. So what does that mean? We've met a lot of people that said they're in love, and they end up fighting. You see what I'm saying? So I would put the love word aside. Let's see how we care for each other.
Become
Let's
friends.
see how we respect each other. Let's see how we honor each other.
Right.
Let's see your integrity. Let's see if
Character.
your word is good.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
These are the things that really last.
Right.
These are the things that matters most when it gets down to marriage and strong relationships.
And if I can just add something real quick, a lot of times, like you said, we go off that infatuation. He's so good looking, I gotta have him, and she's so beautiful. And then the issues come, we kind of do it opposite. So if you start with first, I know they look nice to the eyes, but first let's get down to the core values, because a lot of times we look at the outer and we ignore the inner. But we're saying look at the core value
Inner.
also as you're looking at the outer,
Mhm.
because they can be
That's
they
almost
can
like
have the
that's,
outer.
that's almost like what the scripture says, that men look at the outward appearance, but
Yeah.
God looks at the
Searches the
inside.
heart.
Exactly.
So the common wisdom there is for us to look at the inside
Yeah.
first.
That's
Yeah.
very important.
But man, the outside too. I gotta look at
Oh,
the
yes,
outside.
yes,
I
yes.
want, I want that
But-
pizza though.
But not the outer at the
At
expense
the
of the
expense
inner.
of the inner.
Okay.
You see what I'm
Because
saying?
Right.
usually when
It's-
people
yeah,
start
yeah,
fighting, it's over the inner stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know he didn't have integrity. I
Yeah,
didn't know
exactly.
he was not trustworthy.
Even though they're pretty.
Yeah,
Right.
so that's where the issues come in, because the outer can take you so far.
Right.
The outer can take you to, oh yeah, we engaged. And then you might,
Get
like you
married.
say, you might even
Get
get married.
married,
But then once you get married,
The
you're
inner.
gonna start seeing the inner, and then you're gonna be like, oh,
Like,
I made
uh-oh,
a mistake, or oh.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
we're saying, let's start off with the
So does that apply only to females or both?
Both.
Males.
both. Oh, both.
for sure,
Oh,
definitely
yes. Oh,
both,
yes.
definitely both.
What I expect, if I expect my wife to have integrity and trustworthy,
Yes.
I need to be that
Yes,
first.
Right.
of course.
Okay.
You see what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? If I expect my wife to show me respect and honor and care, I need to be that for her as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Say go both ways. Goes both
Wow.
ways. Yeah.
It goes both ways.
Absolutely.
To you, our listening audience, thanks for following us. Share the link. Be a part of the show. On your various platforms, you can share as much as you can. Ask your questions below. Whatever questions you have when it comes to relationship.
Yeah.
I bet you these people I have here in studio, this will not be your first time seeing them here. They will always come here. They will always be here to answer your questions about relationship. So do not hesitate, whatever it takes. Okay? Relationships, period. Everything.
Yes.
That's it. Here at Top TV Media Network. So if going back to the topic, the same finding, because in the secular world or religious world, most people find it very difficult. And there is this notion as in people who do not know God tend to have their marriages more lasting, solid together, as in people who really know the word, who knows God, and their marriages are failing. There is all this, the things that's happening out there in the world that we see the secular people do.
Right.
They're doing it. It's happening more in the church,
Right.
right? The cheating, all of that's going on. But we know we have the Constitution, which is the Bible, that gives us the pathway,
Yeah.
as to
Yes.
what to follow.
Yes.
What is going on here? What with the church?
I mean, I believe honestly that a lot of Christians are not, as it relates to relationship, are not seriously looking in the Word. They put the
Teach.
Bible aside
Mhm.
and they go on Tinder, they go on
Teach.
all these other places to find a mate, just like the world. And it's as it relates to relationship and getting into serious relationship, they basically push the Word aside and say, well, I'm going to try to figure this out on my own.
Right.
They basically operate just like the world. And as a result of that, the result and the outcome is just like the world.
Good point. Yes.
Yes.
That's
So
true.
so
You
as
wanna add
Christians,
anything
we're
to
going to
that,
have to do
Angie?
it differently.
Yeah.
Yes.
If the end game is marriage, we got to do it God's way, because
Yes.
after all, marriage is God's idea,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And
yes.
so a lot of times we fail in marriage because we don't do it His way.
Yes.
So if it's something God created, then we need to consult Him. If
Right.
He's already given us a blueprint, which is His Word, if we look at Genesis 2:24 through 25,
Mhm.
that's the blueprint for marriage.
Mhm.
And so a lot of times, as Pastor Dave was saying, we don't follow the blueprint. But if
Right.
you follow the blueprint, you will prosper in your marriage,
Yes.
because there's a certain way to get married. If you decide to get married and you decide to do it your way,
Right.
it most likely will fail.
Right.
However, if you do it God's way, you will have success.
Right.
So that's why we see, on both sides, because you do have believers who don't follow Genesis 2:24 through 25.
What do you talk about compatibility? One of our viewers talking about compatibility.
Oh, compatibility. Oh,
Good question.
compatibility
Yeah.
has to do with when we're talking about core values. This is one way you find whether or not you're compatible with someone.
Yes.
You basically, Angie talked about core values.
Right.
You need to know what your values are,
Yes.
Mhm.
and then you match that with the other person's values. Let's say I value family. I value kids, family, my extended family, and all that.
Right.
Well, if now you're looking at dating somebody who don't care much about family, that's
Speaking about dating, do
compatible.
you guys believe in dating or courtship?
Oh, yes.
Let me
Yes.
let me put it this way. I'm from Jamaica, and I do remember my pastor, Dr. Elsie Miller. She instructed us as teenagers. She said, "Be friends with the ladies in the church. Mean good friends."
Mhm.
I have they're 40 years now. I have friends that we grew up with. They're
Right.
still my friends, female, from the church that we grew up in. But she said, don't do the dating as the world do.
Yes.
He said, when you think of dating, only date those who you consider marriage material. You understand? So what she
Yes.
was trying to tell us as young people,
Say that again. We need to
Only-
get that.
Yes.
Only
only
date
Break it
date,
down, break it
only
down.
date those
that you consider
marriage,
marriage material. Potential.
Exactly.
As in,
Yes,
Man.
marriage material, which simply means don't just have you're friends
for the
with
fun of
somebody and you're so-called dating.
Yes. Yes.
Because if you get too close too quick
right?
and it doesn't work, then now you move on to somebody else.
Yes.
Before long, you're so-called quote unquote dated
Dated.
all the girls, and it's like
Right.
that you're just trial and error. She's saying, no, don't do that. Only date those who are marriage material, which means you will have a lot of friends, a lot of female
Yes.
friends, and you have good friends, which is okay. But that doesn't mean you're dating. You're just good friends. You hang out as a group and you
Yes.
just enjoy life.
During the time of dating or courtship,
Mhm.
and if a son or a daughter is going through that, someone who is from a parental background, they have parents fully involved into their lives, but they realize all these criteria you guys have laid out, this person has met them. I have looked at this person. I saw they have core values, they match whatever, but my parents are not in favor. How do you understand or handle such a scenario as in
Yeah.
for someone who's watching, I
Yeah.
love this person,
Yeah.
so dear to my heart, man, I could feel my heartbeat, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But my parents are
Intense
not in
passion.
favor
Yes.
of this.
Okay.
In this
That's-
day, how do you handle that?
That's a very nuanced situation, very tough situation, because it's one of those that you can't give a general answer that fits every criteria. Because the first question I would want to know is, why are your parents against this relationship? They may have good reasons.
Right.
Right.
They may be right.
Correct.
They may be wrong.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's one of those situations that I would say, if I was counseling, let's say a couple and want to get married and they said my parents don't, I would want to know why is your parents against the relationship? I want to dig deeper to find out why the parents against the relationship. And knowing that will open your eye as to what's going on, because the parents could be right. The other general rule of thumb is
Right.
that you would want your parents, for the most part, to give their blessing.
Right. Good.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so which may require you to slow down a bit. You see, the parents may be concerned about the speed at which you're going. I'm
Right.
going to get married next month.
Right.
That is a valid concern for any parents, because if you're going to really love each other, love is patient,
Yes.
meaning that you can wait for however long. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Mhm.
So I would say, I would want to know the reason why the
Reason,
parents
right.
is against the relationship, and I would also want to tell the young couple that it's important to get your parents' blessing. It may require you to hold off a bit, slow down a little bit, take more time to get your parents to meet
Right.
your prospective,
Right.
fiance or whatever,
Right.
and talk.
But
about the issue.
what the thing is, though, we've seen this in
Yeah.
youth. Now, what if the patience for waiting is not there? The patience for slowing down is not there.
Well,
You know,
as-
as in, my man, time is passing
Yeah,
by.
yeah, yeah.
I'm young. I have my future. I'm energetic. I want to move on. I want to
Right,
move. I
right.
want to have a family. I want to have a life.
Right.
You're holding me back.
I'll just say this: marriage is lifetime.
Yes, it's life.
So
life.
it's for life. It's a lifetime. So do everything you can. If it takes an extra 6 months to make sure that you are making the right lifetime decision,
Yes, that's good.
why
That's good.
not?
Yes, I think that's.
What's the
that's an
hurry? What's
excellent-
the rush?
Yes, that's an excellent answer, actually. Yeah.
Because you know
Yeah, it
you're going to get married anyway.
Right.
And so the Bible says that there is safety
In counsel. Yes.
in counsel. So
Multitude
you
of
get-
counsel.
the multitude, you get as much people praying, as much people that can give you the
Input,
wisdom,
yeah.
input to help you. Because once you say I do, it's a lifetime. So I think it's very wise up front to get some more wisdom, to get some guidance, some counseling.
Yes.
Because
yes.
once you say I do, it's I do. It's
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you guys address the issue of culture when it comes to
Culture.
relationship,
Mm.
marriages, culture? Because for some people, we've seen it. I'm from a different culture.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
And some people, their culture has a grip over them
Yes.
as to who they should marry. You know,
Yes.
culture is very,
Yes.
we
Yes.
can't negate that. The fact
No.
that, if I'm going to marry someone from a different culture who doesn't understand the dynamics of my culture, how that affects how to treat a man or treat a woman,
Mm.
respect
Yeah.
each other,
Yes,
all of
yes,
that.
Yeah.
As in, my culture requires hard work. And then you got a man who's lazy,
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
Right.
do you deal with culture and marriage?
I recall counseling a couple from different culture. It is a very challenging situation. One of the things I recall, we remember advising them is that we do have different culture. It just happened that I'm from Jamaica, she's
Yeah.
from the US, so we
Right.
have different culture.
Right.
But there's some culture that's further apart than
Right.
just Jamaican and
In
the US.
US. Yes.
But one of the things that I mentioned to this couple is that we do have national culture, we have tribe culture or whatever, but you also have a kingdom culture.
Kingdom culture.
Yes, based on
Yes.
God's word.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, so even though you're from different cultures,
Right.
Right.
if you push those aside for a bit and exalt, elevate the kingdom culture, that's something that you can both agree on. Whether you're from Africa, Jamaica, Latin America,
Or you
Or the Far
Baptist,
East.
or you Catholic,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
you
yeah,
yeah.
Pentecostal.
the kingdom
Yes.
culture,
Yes.
like for instance, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, love is patient,
Yes.
love is kind, love is long suffering, love is not puffed up,
Right.
love seeketh not
excellent.
his own.
Excellent.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's kingdom culture. So you both can lay aside your
United.
culture
Yes.
and basically agree on kingdom
Kingdom
culture, which
culture.
is what he says. Therefore, shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they shall be one flesh. That's kingdom culture.
Yes.
That's where you honor each other.
Each other.
For instance, you could have a culture that where the man is dominant,
Yeah.
woman
Yes.
is subservient.
A woman is treated like a slave.
Yes,
Right.
there's some cultures on the planet are
Yeah.
I
like
like
that,
that.
where kingdom culture elevates the woman.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Lord,
it says
hallelujah.
Oh
You
man,
see?
she is
He says,
clapping.
Yes.
it says
The
the
ladies are
husband,
hearing it.
Good
I
point.
must be happy.
the husband need to treat the wife as
That's
Christ
Christ.
treats the church.
Love the church.
You see what I'm saying? How does
To the
Christ
point
love,
where
how does Christ love the church?
he
He
died.
gave
He
himself
gave
for the church.
himself.
So
Wow.
you understand?
Teach,
So
break it
so
down.
so kingdom. When we talk about kingdom culture, that's where it's at. Not
Yes.
our own.
So that woman just need to be on the pedestal while we dying every day for her. Is that what you're saying here? That's
no,
kingdom
but,
culture?
but also on the flip side, it says, "Wife, honor your
Honor
husband,
your husband.
respect your husband."
Yes.
You see, say both ways.
Both
It goes
ways.
both ways.
You
And
know,
that's
Submit
kingdom.
to one another.
we
Yes,
have a saying.
submit one to another.
We have a saying like this that there was one time a man was saying, "I'm the head. I'm the head. Don't you understand? I'm the head."
Yes.
And then someone say, "Yes, you are the head." But guess what? She's the neck.
Yes.
that turns you.
That turns
Right.
the head.
Because once you cut the head up, there's the neck
The
up,
neck-
there's no
There's
head.
no, yes, yes,
Yes.
That was powerful.
yes,
Yes.
You know.
yes.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of viewers, Teresa, out there. I'm trying as hard to engage with them. Teresa is saying, at what stage in dating are compromises allowed, if they are even allowed in the beginning stages of the relationship? How do you handle that?
Compromise.
Compromise.
We're gonna qualify that.
But yeah,
Compromise. What are we talking about compromise? For instance,
Yeah.
you could be talking about compromising as in where we go for dinner,
Right.
where we go for a date night.
right,
That's one compromise. And a compromise could be, are we going to sleep around? Those are both
Yes.
compromises.
Mhm.
break it down.
Probably.
So we need
Right.
to clarify
Clarify.
what compromise we're
I
talking
think
about.
I would think she's stuck in the spectrum of both, all of that.
Okay.
As
Okay.
in,
Decision.
if I don't want to give my body as a female
Yes.
before marriage, all of that, that's one aspect of it. As
Well-
in
Okay, go ahead.
compromise, that's one plus
Yeah,
the other one
yeah,
you
yeah.
talked about. As
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
let's go eat.
Yeah.
Or hey,
Right, right.
Yeah,
can
yeah.
you please just put your stinky socks away?
Yeah, yeah,
Right,
You know,
right.
Yeah.
it's
That's
a shoe.
minor stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
So let's answer that question. I'm gonna go first, then I'll have you do the
Yeah.
part of the
Yeah,
part.
yeah. Okay.
So when it comes to, of course, compromising, I'm just a person as a woman. I always say no compromise.
Okay.
Don't compromise your body. Don't compromise your principles, your standard.
Yeah.
Keep your standard high. And if he really loves you, he needs to come up to your standard, because so many times we as women, we have a
Lower.
standard like this, and then we lower because this guy said, "Oh, you're cute." Well, see, you cannot do that. You cannot compromise. You keep your standard up. And if he really loves you,
Yeah, come on.
he's gonna rise up to your standard.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say.
But before you picked up from what she just said, even if I compromise, the female saying you compromise on that, it's easy to say that, sister, because you already got your man. Right? Easy to say that. But others might say, there are more men on earth, billions, to the point where it's almost like 8 women to 1 man.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Statistics and stuff. I could be wrong, I could be right. 8 women to 1 man. Because Bible talk about it too, that there will come a day.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what if that is the stage or the era we are in, as in, man, if I don't lower, I may not get a man. I've been single too long in that kind of case. And I'm aging.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm getting
that's
older.
that's
My career matters. I want to have a family.
Mhm.
Do I need to lower? This is a tough one. I know. I'm bringing it. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's why I got you. Yeah, I'm going to hit you hard. Just so I'm being honest. How do you talk to such a female, to a woman who is, man, the man that she's eyeing, he has the qualities, the standards that she wants, but she got another 4 or 5 sisters chasing him.
Mm.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
How do you handle that? Should I still lower my standard just to get him?
There are
No.
there are certain things that we consider non-negotiables. These are core values. These are things that you value highly.
Yes.
That, as Angie was talking about, those are areas you do not compromise. For
Right.
instance, lowering your standards or sleeping around, whatever. That's a non-negotiable. If you have that as a non-negotiable, there's no reason
Yes.
to lower that standard. You have to, for one, know who you are
Yes.
as a woman or as a man.
As a man,
You
yes.
you have to know who you are. If this person that you're interested in, and if they truly love you, you don't have to run after them. And from a
Yes.
woman's standpoint,
Right.
the man will pursue you. The man will. I mean, if he truly loves you, he will come after you.
Break it down.
If he
Break
does
it
not
down.
love you, there's nothing you can do to win him.
Yes.
No, to truly win him. There are things you can do in a short term that you think you may get what you want.
Yes.
You may even get marriage. But if he doesn't love you,
Yes.
that marriage will not last.
Break it down.
So we've been married
Wow.
28 years.
28.
We've known each other
I'm gonna
28
come there.
plus
How y'all
for
been doing
about
it?
32 years. I've known this woman, right?
Mhm.
And over the years, we've seen it. There is nothing, as from a woman's standpoint, you can do to force a man to love you. I'm sorry. Lowering your standard is the worst thing you can do.
Yes. That's
No,
right.
I'm serious.
Break it down.
It's the worst thing you can do.
Break it down.
If he does not love you, if he's not the term they use, if he's not into you,
Right.
forget it. I don't care. You change your hairstyle, you lower your standard, you do this, you lose weight, all the stuff you do. If he's not into you,
Yes.
it will not last.
Right,
We've
right.
seen where it gone even to marriage
Mhm.
and the marriage failed
Yes.
because the man in his heart did not love this woman.
Wow.
Break it down.
And that's why, as a woman, what do you want? Do you want just a bad relationship? Or do you want a relationship
Yes.
that lasts? Do you want a marriage,
Yes.
that strong
Yes.
marriage that lasts?
Yes.
And if you do want one that lasts with a man that honors and loves and respects you, then that man will come after you. You don't
Yes.
lower your, the worst thing you can do, I
Yes.
said, lower your standard. That's the worst thing.
Right. Right.
And it goes for a guy, but
So
more so
true.
for a woman.
So true.
Do not lower your standard.
Folks, there you have it. This is it.
This
It's
is good
fantastic. Yeah, Talk TV
Good,
Media
good.
Network today.
Good nuggets.
Share the link, be a part of the show.
Yes.
We're gonna be bringing you Talk TV Media Relationships Sundays with this couple that you see, and a lot of your questions, answers. Put them together. If you know someone that needs to hear this, share the link to them. You may be saving someone's life. You may be helping someone, a sister or a brother. And this is why we are the voice for the voiceless here at Talk TV Media Network. Because we go places where others do not go. Relationships, politics, business, music, health. We do it all here. So subscribe. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, the website www.talktvmedia.com. Follow us, be a part of what God's doing through this network. Okay, so we are going to take a quick break, very quick, and we'll come back firing. All right? God is not going to shame us. The song says.
Yes. Amen.
Mike students.
It will be straight from grass to grace. I got no go shameless. If you wipe tears on my face, I got no go shameless. If you make my enemies disgrace, I got no go shameless. I give you all the praise, I got no go shameless. No matter what I am going through, I will end up as a victim. Because I'm a child of God. It is written on the scripture. Even in my trial times, when I am going through the course, Lord, I lift my head to you to full up my teacup. God protect my blessings, like Jacob and Esau. Make life easy for me, as if I am swinging on seesaw. We shall overcome, we shall beat the storm. And no matter how long the night is, the day is sure to come. I got no go shameless. It will lift me from grass to grace. I got no go shameless. It will wipe the tears on my face. I got no go shameless. It will make my enemies disgrace. I got no go shameless. I give you all the praise. I got no go shameless. Papa, fight my battle with your shield and buckler. Provide for me, cause you know say I'm a hustler. This is my time to cash out, cause I am tired to suffer. I want to achieve so many goals like the king of soccer. Protect me like Daniel in the lion's den. Protect me from them evil last friend. Them no love me, yet still them come for pretend. Almighty brother, you are the only defense. We shall overcome, we shall beat the storm. And no matter how long the night is, the day is sure to come. I got no go shameless. It will lift me from grass to grace. I got no go shameless. It will wipe the tears on my face. I got no go shameless. It will make my enemies disgrace. I got no go shameless.
All right, welcome. welcome to the show. Welcome to Talk TV Media Network. Again, my name is Sam Gadu. I am the host here at Talk TV Media Network, and in studio with me is Angela Boswell and Dan Boswell himself. Um, there is a great, a lot of resource to draw from these people as you listen to them, because their life has been worth emulating over the years. Um, we talk about marriages and relationships. When we look at those who are married,
Mm.
we see, just standing from the outside, looking at the inside, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
That women are not happy, men are not happy. And as a result, they are seeking for happiness, looking out there. And the single lady, they're happy. We see a lot of them, hey, I don't think I want to be married. I'm good where I'm at. What is going on when it comes to marriages shaking?
Mm.
You understand what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Being on, instead of it being on a rock, it's on the sand, shaking to the point where when you see these divorces happening, they are
Yes.
bitter,
Yes.
bitter divorces
Mhm.
taking place.
Right.
You know that it will not even have someone after that to ever want to get married
Mhm.
after a bitter divorce.
Right.
What's going on in the marriage world?
Wow. Go ahead.
You want to go first? You want me to go? Okay.
Yeah, good.
I'll go first. Then you go. It's so true. There are people who are like, I don't want to get married. But marriage can be, and there are marriages that are beautiful. They are awesome. They are amazing. And we just happen to have one. Now, it was not easy, but there were certain things that we were intentional about.
Yes.
And a lot of times, and I'm going to say this, a lot of times, if you want to have a successful marriage, you have to do the work.
Right.
You got to do the work. It's not going to happen overnight.
Mhm.
That saying that.
What do you mean by you got to do the work?
The first step is information, is knowledge. Like I said, we got to go back to Genesis
Mm-hmm.
2, 24 through 25. This idea of marriage is God's idea. So we decided that we would follow God's pattern for marriage. The Bible says, a man shall leave his mother and father. So there's a leaving aspect of marriage. A lot of people are married, but they have not left. They have not left
Oh,
their
that's a
parents.
good one. You need to say
They
that
have
again.
not left.
They haven't left their parents.
Yes.
They haven't left their
Yes.
friends.
Which means in their marriage, their wife is at the bottom. They doing everything else for everybody else. And then when they come home, they have no time for the woman. That's not God's blueprint. God's blueprint was to leave and cleave to your wife, to become one flesh. And one thing we have done, and you can ask anybody that know us, they always say Dane and Angie are always together. Always together. If we make a decision, we always make a unified decision. And so we were intentional about following God's way. So if God tells you this is my idea, follow these rules, you do it, and he will prosper you. Now, on the other hand, what a lot of us do,
Right.
a lot of us get married and we don't understand the purpose of marriage. We don't even understand the idea of marriage. What most people do, they think of marriage as that Hollywood. You want to have this huge wedding, spend thousands of dollars, buy a $1,000 ring, $10,000, but all of these people, they're in love with that idea.
Yes.
And they don't do any, after that,
Right.
the next day they bad at each other. We heard about somebody who got married and a week later they were ready for divorce.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this, marriage is not about, if you want to go buy a $10,000 ring, go right ahead. When we got married, we bought it was maybe $100 at most, because it wasn't about that day. The emphasis was on the life after we got married.
Mm.
And we were not the event, because y'all are in love with that event. It's not about the event. You know, some of us need to focus on studying marriage, getting the information, learning how to communicate,
Yes,
learning
yes.
your patterns, learning who you are. I always tell my ladies, how can you be in a relationship with someone when you fully don't understand who you are?
Mhm.
So a lot of times we get married and we're
Wow.
already started. We have
Wow.
already started.
You need
on the wrong foot.
Hold on, Angie.
Yeah, let's
You're going
back it
too
up.
fast.
Let's back it
right
up.
there with that. We need to digest that.
Yes.
How can you pursue a relationship as a young woman or want to be married when you don't even know who you are
Yes.
Yes. That's
or
key.
what you want?
Yes.
Foundation.
That's
Talk about
that's the foundation.
Mhm, mhm.
Because if you don't fully understand who you are and what you bring to the table, when I get into a relationship with somebody, how are you going to be able to understand who that person is when you don't even understand who you are?
Mhm.
So that's why we fail in relationships, because we don't understand who we are.
Right?
We don't understand relationships. We don't even understand how to communicate.
Right.
We get mad at people and we're ready to cut people off.
Mm-hmm.
And so you bring that into your marriage. You get into an argument or while you're dating, and you ready because y'all don't agree on something and you're ready to cut.
Right.
You can't do that. That's nowhere in the Bible where it says to cut people off. And so when you get married, we're ready to cut people. We're ready to cut our husband off. I don't like what he said, and we're gonna give him the silent treatment for a week. That's not biblical. That's not God's idea. So I always say, start off with understanding, start off with knowledge, understand the concept of the institution of marriage. Why did God institute the marriage?
Right.
Mhm.
And so a lot of times we're defeated from the get-go because we
Right.
never fully understood marriage.
Yes.
What we thought was marriage was just that day, having all your friends and
Events,
family
events,
come,
yeah.
you wearing this beautiful dress, showing off your ring. That is in most people's mind
Mm-hmm.
what marriage is, and
Yeah.
it's not that, y'all. It's
Yeah.
not that.
That
Marriage
is-
has to do with
The life.
a destiny, purpose, vision. When you marry, there's a purpose behind our marriage.
Yes. Yes.
I
yes.
didn't know when we got married we would be connecting with Sam. God knew it.
Mhm.
I didn't know. All the people we've touched through our marriage, we had no idea that we would be touching the
Yeah.
people we've touched.
Right. Right.
We just knew we're going to do it God's way. And so when we did it God's way, God said, okay, y'all doing it my way. You're being obedient. You're being humble. I want you now to take your model marriage of you're obeying me and applying my word, and I'm going to expose you now to this person, to that person,
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
because
Great,
God is
great.
always about touching others.
Yeah. Helping others.
Wow.
So you can, that's my part.
How do you? I think she nailed that. I'm not going to have
Okay,
to
okay.
rehearse that.
Okay.
How do you handle the issue of money when it comes to money? I know this is a whole topic by itself when it comes to relationships,
Yes.
marriage. But
Yeah.
before going to marriage, when you're in a time of courtship or dating, both of you are working, making your own money. How do you handle the issue of money from there, even leading into marriage?
Okay, that's a good question. When we talk about money, for one thing, we need to realize is that money is among the top reasons why marriage failed. Money issues, short of money, and all that. We live in a culture, unlike 50, 60 years ago, where the man was the breadwinner. Now we're in a present culture where both parties, sometimes the women have more money than the man.
Right.
So both parties have money. So now you have two individuals with money, with their own means of making money, and they decide to get married. One of the things that I, as a marriage counselor, what we've done, what we've encouraged prospective marriage people to do
Mhm.
is to combine their funds. And that, when we ask them to, you have a prospective, dating, whatever,
Yes.
and then when we talk about premarital counseling, if you will, and then we ask them about money, how do they handle their money? That to me is an indication of how strong the relation, how serious
Right.
they are with their marriage.
Right.
How much
Right.
do they love each other? When I ask, do we have a single account? Do we have the accounts.
Separate account.
Do we have separate accounts? Do we have all parties on all the accounts? And we get varying answers, but the answer that we get indicates how serious these people are. Because
Yes,
we've
yes.
seen some who try to be cute and saying, no, we have separate accounts, and we pay the bills together.
Mhm.
In terms of they have separate accounts, and what they do, they
Yes.
pull. Basically, what they're doing, they're playing house, meaning as couples, they're playing house, and they're trying to. Whenever I see a couple do that, I realize they do not trust each other. Seriously,
yeah, but
they
what-
do
what-
not trust each
But,
other.
but then though,
Yeah.
look at it. Look at the logic.
Mhm.
Remove the word trust. But the reality is, what if that is not working? The
What do you
issue of combining the both incomes together is not working to the point where you have one person, as soon as they see the money, they want to go spend it, or they are going to spend it. That person has financial issues,
Well,
right? And the same thing. So yes, trust could be there, but what if another couple is saying we can have our finances, but there is an overall agreement, as in I have my own money, but I'm accountable how I'm spending it to you, right? As in somebody want to have some control over what they making, but their marriage is still working, their relationship still works. Why? Because we have couples like that.
Yeah, but
I know of many couples that have their finances separated, but
Yeah.
they're still together, and everything is working fine for them.
right.
How do you address people like that?
I always question or wonder when I hear couples having their separate bank accounts, separate whatever. It always comes to my mind, why? Obviously, you mentioned that one person might be not very good at handling their money, whatever, but that's something you should have found out before you get married anyway. If you do your homework, you will know whether this person is a spender, they waste money or not. You can find that out while
Right.
you're courting.
Mhm.
But once you get into marriage, therefore shall a man leave his father and mother, cleave to his wife, and they shall be one. One.
So you mean because of that, everything that they do should be one?
Yeah, I'm just saying, my recommendation, I recommend.
Right.
But what they do, when we are in counseling session, I always said, this is what we recommend. This is what works
Okay.
for us. This is what we recommend. You can do what you want to do, but this is what we
But from a
recommend.
biblical standpoint,
That's what we recommend. And
Okay.
that's the way we've done things. So every assets we own, both of our names are on it. Every accounts that we have is joint.
now let me be your beneficiary.
No, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
all,
Yes.
it's all, both of our names are on it. So I don't have any stash, some account, investment account somewhere that my wife
Mm.
Right.
name is not on it.
Right.
Actually,
Right.
her name is not just on it. She knows how to get to it. She knows how to log in, to see it, to access it. That's it. I mean, if
So in that case though, what if you find out that if you know, you give her access to everything, but you realize he's a spender? Because there are strengths
Yeah.
and
yeah,
weaknesses.
yeah,
Right,
yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
Right?
That's right.
There's
That's-
strengths and weaknesses in a
that's-
relationship. But if he's the one who's lavish, everything, can't keep anything in
that's-
the
that's
account,
fine.
and
That's
she's
fair.
a saver,
Yes.
or vice versa. And
But-
every time you are bumping heads with this
Yes.
kind of
Yeah,
stuff,
but
how
the
do you
thing is,
handle?
but the
that
thing
kind of
is,
issue?
it goes back to what we started, core values. It goes right back to foundation, core values. If I'm going to marry a person that's not trustworthy, I can't trust them, the word is not good. These are what we're talking about here.
Right?
The fact that whether they're a spender or not, the fact is that if you share an account and you said, well, we setting aside this money to buy whatever X, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this other person go and spend it. What do you say about that person? That person is not a person of integrity, not a person that's trustworthy. So you understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so basically, the what you encounter in the marriage
Right,
is the foundational thing we talked
Right.
about before you get
right,
married.
right.
So
Hmm.
if you marry somebody that's lack of integrity, the word is not good, you can't trust them, then you
Yeah.
have trouble on your hands.
Or they may just be, like Sam was saying, they may just be a spender.
But at the same time, you said, I know you're a spender, but we designate this funds, we're gonna buy a house or whatever, and this is our down payment. We're saving up our down payment, let's say.
I know
You see what
I'm
I'm
going
saying?
around this topic,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
But motive. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just all over the
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
Look at the motive. I want us to look at the word motive
Motive,
Yeah.
yeah.
behind
Yeah.
Yes,
getting married.
yes.
Yeah.
One may
Yes,
say,
yes.
oh, I want to get married because I want documentation. I want visa. I want to stay in
Yes.
America.
Oh.
Yes,
I want to get married because he's cute. He's just fun. He got six pack. You know,
yes.
I want to get married because he got money,
Yeah.
right? Or she got money,
Yeah, yeah,
vice
Yes.
versa.
Yeah,
Yes.
I want to get married because he's from my tribal
Right.
lineage.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I want to get married because she's a Christian.
Yeah.
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 Motive. How do you guys address that?
Goes back to, and it seems like it goes back to when we say, why do you want to get married?
Yes,
It's not good enough to say, I want to get married because what you've mentioned, he's cute. He has a
those are
six
all the
pack.
wrong reasons to get
There's
married.
a wrong reason. He has a six pack. He goes to church. That in itself, by itself, is not a good reason.
Exactly.
No, I'm serious.
Break it down.
Just the fact that somebody
Yeah.
go to church doesn't mean they're a good
Don't
spouse.
make them.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Go back to core values. Is this person trustworthy? Is this person a person of integrity? Does this person's what you value? You value family, you value the Lord, whatever you value. Does this person value the same thing? Are you
Break it down.
compatible?
Break it
Those are
down.
things that are more important than the fact that he has a big muscle.
Yes.
When it comes
Yes.
down to marriage, a big muscle or a cute hips
Right.
does not guarantee
That's successful marriage.
successful marriage. And that's what a lot of people have done in the dating
Yes.
process. In
Right.
fact, if they ask, why do you date this? Oh, she's cute shape. That is not a good reason for
It's
a
not a
marriage.
good reason, but it matters though.
It matters.
She
It
gotta be
matters.
looking fine.
That's
Come on
okay.
now.
No.
She gotta have those.
Sam, look.
She gotta look fine. Beauty.
Yeah, my wife is beautiful, but that's not the first thing. That's not the first and only thing that makes me say yes.
Break it down.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
There are
Break it
other
down.
internal attributes that with
Yes.
core values that are as precedence over her fine hips.
Yes.
I'm
Break it
serious.
down.
Because
Break
there's
it
a
down.
lot of people with fine hips that are not
Character,
trustworthy,
not
don't have
trustworthy.
character. So you have to prioritize
Yes.
the list. And what
Yes.
we're saying here is the core values, the integrity, character
Yes.
weighs more. If we're gonna put weight on these things,
Right.
they weighs more than a cute face or a
Break it
cute
down.
hip or a six pack, big muscles. All those stuff are not what's gonna guarantee a strong, lasting relationship. So go
Break it
ahead.
down. That's right. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
But before we take lead, because time is always our biggest
Yeah.
enemy in this show
Yeah.
business. But for our folks listening, this is something we will be doing every Sunday. We'll be bringing you the relationship show at the same time, same place, same station. Let's address this last topic before we close. Communication.
Ooh.
Communication in a relationship. You know, how important is it?
Oh Lord, yes. It's like breathing.
Communication.
Yeah, let
Go
the
ahead.
ladies
Yeah,
talk
go,
on that because
go girl.
a lot of this is
Communication is big.
Huge.
I would say under being number one, knowing your core values, under that would be communication because so many marriages fail
Yeah.
because a lack of
Yes.
communication. And to be honest, most people struggle
Yeah.
with communication.
Yes, they do. They do.
Most people struggle with that. All of us struggle with communication because communication is one of those areas where we don't just wake up and we know how to communicate. Communicating effectively is something that we all have to learn.
Yes, yes.
However, when we got married, one thing we did do, we wrote down our marriage statement. And one thing we wrote in our marriage statement was that we would not go to bed angry.
Yes.
So in order to have a successful marriage, you have to have a plan on how you plan to communicate
Yes.
with your spouse.
Right.
Because women, we communicate totally different than men.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay, and that
yes.
causes a lot of friction in marriages. So I would say, as I said before, get some information, get knowledge, find out your way of communicating.
Yes,
We women, we talk how many words a day?
Yeah,
They say we speak.
Yeah,
I don't know.
1,000 words a day.
More than that,
10,000.
maybe
Women
they
talk
think so
10,000
many.
words a
And
day.
then
Men talk 1,000.
Men is like one word. So
How do you handle some stuff like that?
you have to have a plan. We have a plan on how we communicate. I'll go ahead, hon.
The
But
thing
this
with-
word is so
the-
key, though. I really want you to address.
Yes,
I
yes.
like what she said.
the thing with communication is that communication within a relationship is a little bit different than when I'm on the job communicating. When I'm talking with Sam, just shooting the breeze, that's different.
Break it
Because
down.
I'm
That's
not
right.
communicating. When I'm talking with Sam, we're just jiving, talking.
Right.
I'm not talking from an emotional place. When you're in marriage and a relationship, now you're dealing with your feelings, you're dealing with
Yes.
emotions, and a lot of men, I'll talk to the men, a lot of men do not know how to access their emotions.
Teach.
They're not what we call emotionally intelligent. Reason being is that we were raised, was raised in Jamaica, and a lot of men are raised in cultures that are predominantly, they will tell the kids when you're growing up and you fall down, what do they
Teach.
tell you? Get up,
Get up.
don't cry,
Yeah,
don't cry. So we grew up with the mindset and in us that men boys, little
Don't
boys
cry.
don't
Show
cry,
emotion.
We tough.
which means we're tough. What does that mean? When we grow up and we get into a relationship, we carry that same thing over.
Yeah.
Men don't cry. Men's tough. What does that mean?
You don't
That
emotionally
translate
connect.
means I'm emotionally disconnected. Now you get into a relationship
With
with
a
this woman that's fully wired emotionally
To talk.
Emotion and
talk
connection.
and
you
connection. And now I was raised
can't to shut down your
to
emotions.
shut down, to disconnect. And now she's raised and wired for connection and communication. So that's a problem. So men have to learn now, how do I tap into my emotional side?
To reconnect.
Yes,
To
because
connect. You're
now
right.
we have to push aside all the things we've been taught.
Yes, break it down.
Men don't cry, men are tough, and all this stuff, which is garbage. Because we're a relational being, not just women. We are a relational being. We're born for relationship. And if we don't understand that, then we get into a relationship and we think the woman is nagging us. We think she talked too much.
Wow.
And not realizing
Yeah,
that's
break
the
it
way
down.
that you
Yeah.
connect emotionally
Right.
in relationship. You connect
Yes.
by talking. You connect and that's something that we men have to learn.
Yes.
And the thing is, we have to learn to be assertive. We say what we want. A lot of men are not assertive. We talk around.
They're not honest.
We're not straightforward. We talk around. We don't say it
Yeah.
as we want. We try to be,
Yeah.
whatever.
I thought
We
it's
have to
women
be
that talking
assertive.
around
No,
like
no,
that.
man.
Man, we talk direct.
So when your wife says, honey, how do I look in this dress?
Emotionally. I'm talking about emotionally. When we're on the job, we're direct.
Right.
But in a relationship, emotionally, if we want something, most men don't know how to articulate what they want emotionally.
Break it down.
I'm not talking about other in other
We
areas.
act like
I'm-
we're pretending.
Oh,
We
Yes.
pretend.
we're
Yes.
tough.
Yes.
We're hurting
So, yes.
inside.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
tell. We're tough.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Break it down.
Emotional. We have to, if we want a strong relationship, we have to basically put the guard down emotionally. We got and
At
that's
home with
at
your
home
wife.
with
Not
your
on
wife.
the job.
Not on the job.
You could be
I'm
tough.
talking about on the job talk. But your home should be a safe space where you can take off the armor
Yes.
and look at your wife and deal with her in a safe place emotionally, so you can say, honey, I'm not feeling, I'm fearful about what's going on. I'm stressed out concerning this. Most men don't talk to their wives like that. Their emotional side,
Yeah.
they don't.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's very important because you need your wife to connect with you. Because if you're going through, let's say you're fearing a decision that's coming up and you're concerned about it, you're emotionally, and you don't tell her because you think, oh, she don't think I'm weak. No, you. This is your queen. Should be able to
Yes.
to expose that.
Your
Say,
helper.
Yes.
Yes, you said,
That'll help you.
Yes.
I am concerned. I'm
Yes.
not feeling, whatever. I'm not confident in this. And you have now this woman that can help you, that can pray
And,
with
Yes.
you.
and as a
and
helper,
encourage
you can only allow a helper, even though they are there to help, but you can only when you allow them to help
Yes.
with their help.
Yes.
Yes.
You know,
Mhm.
ladies and gentlemen, this is how we're going to come to the close today.
Yeah.
Of this show. I know a lot of you guys are watching and you want this to continue, but it will continue. Not today. Today
Okay.
time is against us. Some of us, like me, I'm hungry. I gotta go eat. It's Sunday. I came from church having eaten just to make sure I bring you the show. Thank you for watching and sharing. Follow the link. Keep sharing it. Bring
Yes.
people. Next week Sunday will be here, same time, same place.
Yeah.
I am honored. I know I have a lot of tons of questions in my head going on to fire up, but I can't keep on. I don't want to bring everything out in one day time.
Yes.
Then I can't have more following or more views. I gotta keep giving out the nuggets.
Little by little.
Yeah, little by little, But on a serious note, man, I'm very honored to have you guys on the show, to be having this relationship, show to keep going, because there is a lot that's happening in people's lives.
Right.
Yes,
And they need
That's true.
life
Yes.
needs to be transformed. People need to have,
yes.
a lot of these things. I realize most people will not go to their pastors to ask,
I
and or
Which is
someone,
unfortunate.
because they will find out, they think their business is out there, and
Yes.
stuff. But if we have this kind of platforms
Yes.
where they can get the answers,
Yes.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we are pleased, happy to do for. Before I take leave of you, what's your final comments? Both of you.
Go ahead. Sweetheart.
Final comment is,
On relationship, marriage.
just like I said before you decide to get into marriage, understand the purpose of marriage, not the Hollywood version or, the big marriage to just impress people. And then afterward, it goes downhill. Really understand God's purpose of marriage. That's what I would end with.
Yeah. And make sure that you truly love each other.
Yes.
Care for each other.
Yes.
Honor
Yes.
each other. Respect each other. Stay away from the infatuation.
Yes.
That will go and come.
Yes.
But to truly respect and honor each other. That's part of the foundation. If you have that in your dating relationship, I think you're off
Yes.
to a good start.
Yes. And one more thing, I'm gonna just
One
add.
man say next time I should eat. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, just one of my friends that we had a marriage women's fellowship last year, and she said, ask a lot of questions. So if you're dating, courting, ask a lot of questions
Yeah.
to get to know the person.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So.
All right, there you have it. At Talk TV Media Network. Just to recapture a lot of this stuff that, our weekly broadcast, those of you who are watching or following the link, we are getting pretty busy with our schedules, which is good. We have on Wednesdays, we'll bring you the business aspect of the show here at Talk TV Media Network. We have one at noon. If we don't do that at noon, we'll do the 2 o'clock show. So one of those times. Thursday, we'll bring you the health show. Talk about health. This is where we talk about all the good stuff because none of us would be here talking what we're saying if we are not healthy or doing well.
Right.
So health is very important to our daily survival. And then Friday we'll bring you the jam. You know, we just started something, the traditional music, Liberian music. Liberia has 16 different tribes and 16 counties. So all the music traditionally from those counties and those different tribes we play for you on Friday, showcasing our local traditional artists in Liberia. Also on Friday, we intend to have what we call Talk TV Media Network Book Talk. This is where we're thinking about bringing book writers, publishers on the show to talk about their books and stuff. You know what they had to go through. So good stuff. Good stuff. Saturday we'll bring you the politics. You know, we part of the government now. We got to talk about government. You know what the government is doing, good or bad. You know, elections are around the corner in Liberia next year. You know, we got to recap politics of the week to you. And of course, Sunday we're right here. Also Saturday we trying to bring you back the sports show Saturday, so we might be having 2 shows on Saturday as well. Until then, be a part of what God is doing, man. I love it. I enjoy you. Enjoy watching your comments. Teresa, Sam, my man, Doug Miller, Kuma Avian. Oh my God. The list goes on. Cecilia. Yeah. My heart's up to you all. And all of you watching. Until then, like I always say, do not do what I do. Do what God wants you to do.
Yeah.
I love you. Have a blessed week.
Yes. Awesome.